this is your first time taking this class, welcome. This is a vinyasa-based class, which means that this is a flow-like sequence. You'll notice a repetitive in the movement, and we use inhales and exhales to move us in and out of poses, and also into relaxation. So breath becomes a big part of our practice. It is a loosely based vinyasa class for those who are a little more familiar with the style. I won't just call out poses and expect you to know where we're going. I will talk about alignment, build us up into a pose. So if this is your first time to yoga in any capacity, that is okay. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone to always listen to your body. This class is meant to be challenging. Take breaks if you need to. You can jump back into the practice when we're ready. If something doesn't feel right in your body, you can skip it. Just be true to yourself and honor your body, and always check with the doctor before you start a new exercise plan. Today we're going to get started in a seated position. So take a seat facing the front of your mat, legs in a loose cross shape. If that's not comfortable for you, you can take a loose diamond shape with the feet, bottoms of the feet together, knees out to the side. However you can sit, with your sits bones grounded firmly into the floor, and find some length in your spine. Again, you're facing forward towards the front of your mat, starting with hands at our sides. Tilt your chin down towards your chest so you can gaze down towards the floor. Keep the length in the spine as you start to deepen the breath. Keeping your gaze focused on one spot so that all focus comes to inhales and exhales. Lift your chin from chest so you can look forward. Place your fingertips behind you, facing away from the body, and open through the front of the chest. Shoulders wrapping behind the heart, opening the throat, tilting head up towards ceiling, and holding for a few breaths here. Taking advantage of this opening we have across the front of the chest, take deep breaths into the ribs, into the chest, and into the throat. Exhaling out through the mouth. Bring fingertips back at your sides, lengthening towards the ceiling. Then walking the fingertips in front of you, hinging at the hips, keeping the spine long, gazing down towards the mat. Draw the belly in back towards the spine. Now breathing into the back side of the body. Breathing up the length of the spine. Walk your hands back to the sides of the body, twisting from the belly into spinal twist, facing the right side of the mat, placing right hand directly behind you, left hand directly in front. Gaze to the back of the mat as well. Spine stays long towards the ceiling. Use your exhale to untwist and turn to the opposite side. Now left hand is directly behind. Slowly untwist, return to center, placing both hands at your spine or sides, finding length through the spine. Take your right hand over to left shoulder and press the shoulder down towards the floor. Let head fall to opposite side, relieving any tension in the sides of the neck. Chin can also roll down towards the center of the chest here and then back over to the shoulder. Lift your head through center, place your hand down at your side. Now left hand crosses over to opposite shoulder, pressing down to the floor. Head falls opposite side. If you found a little bit of movement, letting chin roll to center of the chest, do the same here. Lift your head through center, hands return back to the sides of the body. Plant both feet on the mat so knees are bent up to the ceiling. Hands come behind you again, fingertips facing away from the body. Let the knees fall over to the right side of the mat, as far as comfortable. Slowly lift knees back up to ceiling and let them fall to the opposite side. Working with the outer hips here. We're going to continue with this movement, moving at your own pace, just not too quickly. Take your time so you can feel any sensation that's being created around the hips. Another time or two here. Walk the hands closer into the body so your spine is nice and long to the ceiling. Extend your right leg forward, flexing the foot. Let the opposite knee fall down towards the floor, bringing the bottom of the left foot closer towards the extended leg. Put a slight bend in the right leg. Extend both arms up towards the ceiling, square shoulders away from ears, lengthen the spine. Lower to forward fold, hinging forward at the hips, dropping belly towards the thighs, letting hands fall wherever is comfortable, and gazing down towards the mat. Spine is nice and long and forward fold. Lead with the chest as if you want your chest to touch down to the legs first. The tighter the extended leg, the deeper the bend in the knee, the more ease you'll feel here. Low belly should be very close or touching the thigh. Slowly walk the hands back to sides of your body, finding an upright position with your spine. Bending both knees or feet, planting them back to the mat. Left leg extends forward, flexing the foot. Opposite knee falls down towards the floor. Put a slight bend in the extended leg. Lift both arms overhead. Find length through the spine. Deep breath in as you exhale. We forward fold, hinging at the hips, belly to thighs, gazes down towards the leg. Broaden across the collarbones. Take some deep breaths. Walk hands back to side of body, finding length through the spine. Extending right leg, so both legs are extended forward. Then we'll swing the legs behind us and come into a tabletop position on the hands and the knees. Wrists stacked under shoulders and knees stacked under hips. Round the spine into cat pose, tucking chin to chest, drawing belly up into the spine. Relax back to a tabletop position, then lift and arch the spine into cow, tilting head up to ceiling, letting belly hang to the floor. Again, rounding the spine into cat pose, tucking chin to chest. Just go, gather the belly in. Lift and arch to cow, gazing up towards the ceiling. One more time, exhaling as we round the spine. Inhaling as we lift and arch. And returning to a neutral tabletop position. Lift up to the tips of the fingers. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes, heel in line with hip. Draw the belly in to help flatten the back and engage the core. Giving our first tabletop crunch, drawing the right knee in towards your chest. Lifting the knee as high as you can, lifting away from the mat, drawing the belly in, then extending the leg behind you once again. Two more, exhaling to crunch, knee to chest, pressing the breath out of the body, drawing belly in, inhale to extend the leg behind you. Last time we exhale to crunch, lift that knee as high as you can so you can step it into lunge in between the hands. If you can't do that hands free, grab that foot and put it into alignment, ankle below the knee. Draw breath in through the nose, nice and slowly. Lift both arms overhead. We'll pause and exhale here. Squaring shoulders away from the ears. Pressing left knee down into the mat. Tucking lower ribs in. Finding length on the sides of the body, out through crown of head. Slowly spinal twist to the right, lowering arms down at your sides. Bring just the left arm back up towards the ceiling. If you want to challenge your balance, try to look towards the back of the mat over right shoulder. Core is engaged, drawing close to spine. To unwind, we'll face forward, bringing both arms back overhead, then lowering fingertips down to the floor. Extend the forward leg long behind you, point through the toes, and return to your tabletop position. Left leg extends, heel in line with hip, flatten back, draw belly in, exhale to crunch, knee to chest, around the spine, lift the belly in. Inhale to extend. Exhale for 2, knee to chest, take your time, engage the core. Inhale to extend. Exhale last time, knee to chest, lift that knee a little bit higher and step or place the foot into lunge. Draw breath in through the nose, slowly lifting both arms overhead, and we'll pause here. Tuck the ribs in, find length through sides of body. On your next exhale, twisting to the left, lowering arms down at your sides. Right arm only comes up to ceiling. If you challenge your balance on the opposite side, do the same here, trying to look over left shoulder. Unwinding, bringing both arms up to the ceiling, exhaling, fingertips come to the floor. Extend the forward leg long behind you, point through the toes, and return to a tabletop position. Settle into child's pose, bringing hips all the way down to the heels. Big toes touch, but knees are separate. Forehead rests to the mat, arms extended down the length of the mat. If you're feeling uncomfortable in the knees or the hips, try puppy pose. Instead, resting on the elbows, stacked under the shoulders, gazing between the knees. Still getting lengthening in the spine, just a little easier on the knees and the hips. We're going to take a few breaths here to finish our warm-up. Appreciate these few moments of stillness before we sort of kick things up a notch by deepening the breath, bringing all of your attention to your breath for the next few moments. Slowly meet me back in a tabletop position and lift up to the tips of the fingers. Extend your left leg behind you, point through the toes, draw belly in, exhale to crunch, knee to chest, round the spine, lift the knee high, step or place the foot into lunge. Right toes tuck onto the mat, lifting up to pointer and middle finger, lifting right knee into the air, sending chest forward, drawing belly in, looking forward. Stepping up to half lift, right foot steps up to the top of the mat, flattening back, hands to shins, gazes down towards the floor. Lowering to forward folds, bending the knees so belly can touch the thighs, crown of head and arms reaching towards the floor. Rounding the spine one vertebrae at a time until we find ourselves in a standing position. Take your time here. Once you're all the way at standing, give me a deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms out at your sides, up overhead. Exhale, hands together, down through heart center and down at your sides. So before we jump into the practice, I'm going to demo our plank sequence for the week. Every week we have a new sequence. So I'm going to demo first and then we'll tie it into the practice together. We are going to start in a plank position. Fingers spread nice and wide. Even if you've done plank 1,000 times, I'll ask you to check your alignment when it's time. Shoulders in line with hips, in line with heels. Don't let the hips sink down. You don't want the hips up too high either. If you have sensitive wrists, you can take plank on your fist with thumbs facing one another instead. I'll give us a countdown, something like our sequence will start in 3, 2, 1. Starting with the right knee, you'll draw it in towards the elbow. Aim to lift it up towards the armpit. So that can be a little challenging. You're gonna have to press away from your mat and draw the belly in. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're just aiming for those 2 spots to help engage your core. So if you don't get there, don't worry. So we'll do elbow, armpit, elbow, step back. Opposite knee, elbow, armpit, elbow, step back. We'll do that twice. So that was once. We'll do the same thing on both sides. We'll lower down to a forearm plank. We'll hold here for 5 breaths, then lower all the way down to the mat and carry on our sequence from there. So we'll start at the top of our mat and start tying that into our practice. Starting with feet hips width distance apart. Stand tall with purpose at the top of your mat. Black shoulders down the back and palms face forward. Slowly lift both arms overhead. Gaze up to the ceiling. And lower to forward fold by bringing hands together, lowering them down through heart center, hinging forward at the hips, gently bending knees, dropping belly to thighs, arms and head hang to floor. Rise to half lift, flatten back, gaze is down towards the floor, hands to shins, and step into your plank position. Bend the knees so you can plant the hands and take a look back at your alignment. Total body active. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Elbow, armpit, elbow, step back. Elbow, armpit, elbow, step back. 1, elbow, armpit, keep it going, step back. Elbow, armpit, step back. Forearm plank. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. All the way down, hands under shoulders, tops of feet to mat. Elbows up to ceiling. Using the strength of your core, lift the chest off the mat into baby cobra. Shoulders are up behind the heart, gaze is up to ceiling. And press into your rest position. Whether that's child's pose, hips all the way to the heels, or puppy pose, elbows to mat, whichever you prefer. Take a breath or 2 here. Attention comes back to the breath. Again, appreciating this moment of stillness. As we go through the practice, these breaks will get a little less lengthy, at least for the first part of class. Use your inhale to meet me back in a tabletop position and lift up to the tips of your fingers. Right leg extends behind you, point through those toes. Exhale to tabletop crunch. Knee to chest, round the spine, step or place the foot into lunge. Lift up to pointer and middle finger. Left toes tuck onto the mat. Lift the knee in the air, sending chest forward, drawing belly in. Step up to half lift, feet together, hands to shins, back is flat. Lower to forward fold, bending knees, dropping belly to thighs, head reaches towards the floor. And tuck chin into chest and round the spine up to standing. Chin comes up from the chest last. Move the spine from tailbone all the way up to the base of the neck. Slowly lifting both arms overhead. Same thing through. Lower to forward fold, hands down through heart center, belly meets the thighs. Rise half lift, flattening your back, hands to shins. Step back into your plank position, and we'll start our sequence in 3, 2, 1. Elbow, armpit, elbow, step back. Elbow, armpit, elbow, step back. Keep it going. Keep this pace. Step back. Step back. Forearm plank. Holding for 5. Check your alignment. 2 and 1. Release all the way down. Hands under shoulders. Elbows up to ceiling. Lifting chest to baby cobra. Then pressing to your rest position. Puppy pose or child's. Deepen the breath. And rise back to tabletop, lifting up to tips of fingers. Extend left leg behind you for tabletop crunch. Knee to chest, around the spine. Step or place the foot into lunge. Right toe tuck onto the mat. Lifting the knee in the air, stepping up to half lift. Back is flat. Lowering forward folds, belly meets thighs. Tucking chin into chest and slowly rounding the spine up to standing. Same thing, last time through. Deep breath in, arms overhead. Slow exhale out the mouth into forward fold, belly comes down to thighs. Inhale, half lift, flatten your back. Exhale as you step back into plank. Resume your normal breath. We'll start our sequence in 2, 1. Elbow, armpit, elbow, step back. Elbow, armpit, elbow, step back. Keep it going. step back, step back, forearm plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Exhale. Draw the breath in for baby cobra, chest lifts. Exhale to your rest position. As soon as you find your rest position, draw the breath in, rise right back to tabletop, lift up to the tips of the fingers, and extend your right leg behind you. Exhale to crunch, knee to chest, step that foot right into lunge. Step up to half lift, knee lifts off the mat, hands to shins, back is flat. Lower to folds, belly meets the thighs, tuck chin into chest and round nice and slowly all the way to standing. Lift both arms back overhead, then lower the hands slightly just so you can see the thumbs. Bend the knees into chair pose as if you were sitting in an imaginary chair. Tucking the tailbone under, keeping the chest lifted, weight is in the heels, not holding the breath, core is engaged, then lower to fold, belly meets the thighs. Rise half lift, flat in the back. Step your right foot back into a lunge position, planting fingertips to floor, stepping the right foot back, left knee is right over the ankle. Bring your hands to the forward thigh. Lifting the chest up right and extending arms overhead into high lunge. Left knee is still stacked over the ankle. We're on the ball of the right foot. Tuck the low ribs in. Give me a few deep breaths into the chest. Open a 5-pointed star facing the right side of the mat. Planting feet flat, turning them forward, lowering arms to shoulder height. Lean towards the front of your mat and take a side bend, right arm up to ceiling. Rise back up. Reach to the back of your mat, take a side bend, left arm up to ceiling. Slowly rise back to standing. Now right hand crosses over to left foot. Doesn't have to touch all the way down, but you do want to engage the twist in the core, draw belly in. Inhale as you rise back up. You don't have to touch down, just feel that twist and engage your core. We're going to cross over opposite side. Inhale, back to standing. Left foot turns forward towards the front of the mat, bend the knee into warrior two, stacking it right over the ankle. Hips and shoulders facing the long edge of the mat. We're opening up the hips here, strengthening the legs. Gaze is out over left hand. Windmilling the arms down into lunge, lifting right heel off of mat, and stepping back into plank position, starting our sequence in 3, 2, 1. Elbow, armpit, elbow, step back. Elbow, armpit, elbow, step back. Keep it going. Remember, you can take a break at any time and jump back in if you need. Step back, lower to forearm plank. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Hands under shoulders. Give me a deep breath into baby cobra. Lift the chest. Slow exhale to your rest position. We will take a few rounds of breath here. Attention comes back to the breath. Try to deepen the breath. And be present in your body in this practice, taking mental notes of how you feel in your body. What thoughts have been going through your mind since you've stepped onto your mat? Slowly rise back to a tabletop position. Lift up to tips of fingers. Extend right leg behind you, point through the toes. Give me a crunch, right into lunge. Inhale as you step up to half lift, feet together, back flat. Exhale as you lower to forward fold, dropping belly to thighs. See if you can draw the inhale out as you slowly rise to standing, then exhaling at the top. Slowly lift both arms back overhead, lowering the hands in front of you just so you can see the thumbs. Lowering back in a chair pose. Imagine that seat behind us, tucking tailbone under. Don't let it curve up to ceiling. Holding here, not holding the breath, engaging the core. Sit a little bit lower and lower to forward fold, belly to thighs. Rise half lift, flatten back. Left foot steps back into lunge. Right knee is over the ankle. Hands come to thigh and extend overhead into high lunge. Tuck those low ribs in and give me a few deep breaths. Open a 5-pointed star facing the left side of your mat, turning feet forward and lowering arms to shoulder height. Reach to the front of your mat and find your side bend. Slowly rise back to standing. Reach to the back of the mat, finding your side bend. Inhaling brings you back to standing. We'll take left hand, crossing it over to right foot. Finding the crunch, inhaling to lift. Exhaling opposite side, hand touches down. Inhaling to lift. Right foot turns forward, bending the knee into warrior two, stacking it over the ankle. Hips and shoulders facing the long edge of your mat. Press firmly into the pinky edge of your left foot, gazing over right hand. Your next exhale, windmill the arms down to lunge, lifting left heel off the mat and stepping back to plank, starting our sequence in 3, 2, 1. Elbow, armpit, elbow, step back. Elbow, armpit, elbow, step back. Keep it going. Step back, find your forearm plank, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Deep breath in, baby cobra. And exhale to your rest position. Focus comes back to the breath. Inhale as you rise to tabletop position and pause here, planting hands flat to mat. Extend your right leg behind you, pressing out through the heel, toes face down towards the floor. Extend your left arm forward into sunbird, thumb face up towards the ceiling. Flatten the back, drawing belly in, gazing down towards the floor and holding here. So not only are we engaging our core, strengthening our core, but we're working on our balance. Gaze is down towards the mat. If you're wobbling, that's okay. Just know that you're improving. Then give me a crunch, drawing knee and elbow together, drawing belly in. Extend, and meet me back in tabletop, hands and knees to mat. Left leg extends, pressing out through the heel. Right arm extends, thumb up to ceiling. Draw belly in and hold here. Don't hold the breath. Give me a crunch, knee to elbow, elbow to knee. Extend, and meet me back in tabletop. Lean forward for Chaturanga until shoulders pass the wrists, then bend the elbows, keeping them close to the body, lowering your chest down to the mat, and then your hips all the way flat. Turn your head to one side so you can rest on your cheek. Lower your arms along the sides of your body, palms face up. Big toes touch, let heels fall away from one another. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you exhale out through your mouth, let everything go onto the floor. Body hangs heavy onto the mat. Wiggling shoulders away from the ears. Maybe gently wiggling the hips side to side, helping to relieve any tension in the low back. And settle into some stillness, maybe close the eyes, and we'll take a few more moments here. Stretching the neck, releasing the low back, and starting to wind down, cool down our practice. Slowly turn your head to the opposite side, taking another moment of rest here. Bring your chin to the mat, place your hands underneath your shoulders, and press yourself one final time into your chosen rest position, whether that's puppy or child's. Maybe you want to switch it up and try one or the other. It's up to you. Slowly meet me back in tabletop. Cross the ankles. Sit the heels back behind the feet and allow the legs to come forward. The sits bones are flat on the mat and legs are extended forward. Flex the feet, ground your sits bones onto the floor. Lift both arms up to the ceiling, drop chin to chest. Slowly start to round the spine into a rounded back stretch, placing hands at the knees, thumbs facing in towards one another, relaxing shoulders down the back and away from the ears. Trying to draw the breath to the space where you feel the most sensation. Willing those muscles to let go of any tension that they're holding, whatever stress they're holding. Allowing the breath to ease that all away. Slowly start to lengthen the spine upright, finding staff pose, planting hands on either sides of your hips, finding length through the sides of the body, out through crown of head, then relaxing back to a neutral spine position. Bend your knees, planting your feet on the mat. If you're not sitting in the center of your mat, make your way there now. Place hands on the back of your thighs and roll down until you're laying flat on your back. Place arms wide out at your sides. You can let the knees fall together. Gently tuck your chin in towards your chest. Take a few breaths here. Just slowing down our practice and preparing our body for our final rest position. Straighten your legs down the length of your mat. Draw the right knee into your chest for Uttanasana, interlacing the fingers, holding below the knee, drawing thigh close to body, flexing the feet. If you feel any discomfort on your knee, hold on to the back of your thigh instead. Drawing the knee out towards the right armpit, still keeping thigh close to body. Just engaging the hip a little more. Gently release the leg, returning it to the mat. Left knee draws in, holding below the knee, drawing thigh close to the body. Slowly moving knee out towards the armpit. Release your hold, returning leg to the mat. Then draw both knees into the chest, feet side by side, holding below the knees or on the back of the thighs if that was better for you. Release your arms down to the floor at shoulder height, palms face up to the ceiling. Let the knees fall to the right into reclined spinal twist. Start with the knees in line with the hips and turn the head to the left. Take a few breaths here as you're exhaling, willing left shoulder down towards the floor. If you need ease in the twist, lower the knees towards the top of the mat, away from the hands. If you'd like a little more sensation in the twist, draw the knees up a little closer towards the arms. Being gentle with yourself. And giving into what your body wants, not what your ego wants. This is our last pose before our final resting pose, so it's a great time to close your eyes. And start to relax the brow, relaxing muscles around the face. Slowly draw both knees back in towards the chest. Let them fall to the left side of the mat, starting with knees in line with hips. Letting head turn to the right. This time as you exhale, right shoulder presses down towards the floor. If you'd like to make any adjustment with your knees, finding ease or increasing sensation, you can do that now. In our final rest period, we'll lay flat on our back for 2 to 3 minutes, allow the benefits of the class to absorb into our body, and it's also a time for reflection. It's important not to forget that yoga is not just about the movement we put into our body, but it's about recognizing what's going on in the inside and our thoughts and our minds as well. Slowly draw both knees back to the center. Grab a hold of the legs, pulling the thighs close to body. Slowly lift your head to meet your knees. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold the breath at the top. Squeeze all the muscles in your body, squeezing yourself into a tight little ball. Exhale out through your mouth and release the hold on your body to lay flat on your mat. Spread your legs and arms nice and wide. Eyes are closed. Palms face up to ceiling. Toes fall away from one another. Take another deep breath in through your nose, and as you exhale out through your mouth, let the body hang heavy onto the floor. Keeping your focus on your breath. Following the rise and fall of your belly or your chest. Bringing your attention to whatever little movements the breath makes in the body. Recognizing that in this time and in this space, every inhale you take is filling your body with a positive energy. And every time you exhale, you're releasing stress and tension from the body. stress and worries from the mind. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Welcome movement back to your body. Gently roll over to the right side of your body and take a moment of stillness on your side. Your arm can support your head like a pillow. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze low to the floor, slowly press yourself up into any comfortable seated position. But please take your time, there is no rush. If you're still finding seated, just keep an ear open so you know where we're headed. As always, to end class, we take 3 cleansing breaths together as one, breathing in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Today we're going to add movement to our breath. As we exhale, we'll round the spine, dropping chin to chest. As we inhale, we'll lift and arch the spine, tilting head up towards the ceiling. As also on an exhale, rounding the spine, drawing all the breath out of the body. Breathing in through the nose, filling the body with breath as we arch the spine, tilting head up towards ceiling. Exhaling out through mouth, rounding the spine, pressing breath out of the body, dropping chin to chest. Inhaling as we lift and arch, drawing the breath in. Exhaling out the mouth, rounding spine, chin to chest for 2. Last one, make this your deepest breath yet, filling the body with breath, breathing in as we lift and arch. Then exhaling slowly and as deeply as we can as we round the spine, chin to chest. Take a second and thank yourself for making time for this practice, for taking time to come to your mat. I thank you for letting me lead you on this practice. There is a light that exists within me that honors and respects the light that exists within each and every one of you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this class. I hope it was challenging. Let me know what you think. If you have comments, concerns, throw them at me. A new version of this class is aired every Wednesday at 8 a.m. If you're interested in something a little easier on the body, I also teach a vinyasa yoga class. It's structured much like this class. However, I cut out all the core work and we throw in with some other nice stretches. That class is aired every Monday at 8 a.m. We've got lots of classes to offer though, not just yoga. Try our classes out. Let us know what you think. I hope to see you next time. Have a great day.